Frank Gray, I have a question for you. Are Scientologists taught to avoid generalities? I've seen several free zone comments that seem to put down general type statements, but the most blatant example is David Miscavige's rants via text message to Mike Rinder and Tommy Davis about talking in generalities. He really flies off the handle about generalities in his typical unhinged way. However, the Scientology wins are all generalities. They talk about greater beingness and at cause and knowing myself more than ever before. There's a huge disconnect between what they seem to be taught and how they describe themselves. Have you noticed this? Yes, I have definitely noticed this. This is again the contradictions of destructive cults, right? It's built into the system that you're going to have this kind of thing. David Miscavige beats up on these guys because he wants more solid information and generalized information, which is all that Mike and Tommy at that time could report, were not good enough. What this comes out of is the security checking. There is an HCO bulletin in Scientology called Sec Checking, Generalities Won't Do. And it talks about how you need to get the specifics of every single overt or withhold that is pulled on a person. So, and the language here, of course, I'm speaking Scientologies, but what we're talking about is when you're doing a Scientology's version of a confessional, I guess, where you're, dragging the person's sins out of them, you want to get very, very detailed, specific information. It's not good enough to say, I masturbated this morning. Okay, how'd you do it? What were you thinking? When? Where? Right? Anything else to it? How'd you justify it? Like, there's all this information that the sec checker is going to get out of the person. So this kind of thinking extends out into when executives of Scientology are berating their juniors, they will use this same terminology or same nomenclature and generalities and, I want specifics. I want to know the exact time, place, form, and event, because in Scientology, the reason why all these specifics are being gone after is that Hubbard said that the truth is what does he say? The truth is the exact time, place, form, and event of a thing. So, how did it look? Where was it? When did it happen? How did it happen? Like all these questions to get the time, place, form of the incident and the event itself. Okay? So that's how Hubbard defines it. So this is how Hubbard, the executives of Scientology, Hubbard's followers, right? This is how they will use this to, to berate their juniors is pretty much the deal on that. And that's also why Scientologists in general will talk about, no generalities, and they try to be more specific about things. But, it's, again, then you have these wins and gains where they have to speak in these broad generalities, as you point out. Well, what's that about? Well, because also in Scientology, you're not supposed to talk about your case. The specifics of your case are only supposed to be talked about in an auditing session. So when you go into an auditing session and you have all the specifics that you get off about all of your nasty deeds, when you go out of the session, you're not supposed to be talking to other people about all those specifics. And that's why the wins that are talked about in Scientology are so generalized. That's actually why. It's not because Scientologists are avoiding the specifics. It's because they're told, don't talk about that. So, contradictions? Maybe. But that's how that works.